Rocket Racing 28.20 was just released and it brought some great changes, including 2 new tracks and massively improved collision physics. However, there are some additional changes that the devs didn't mention in the patch notes, some of which are quite important. Ideally, they should communicate all the changes in the patch notes and I shouldn't have to make a video like this, but here we are. So let's jump right in. The first and most important unmentioned change is how some drifting mechanics were reworked. Every time you drift, depending on how long that drift is, you get some extra speed when you release it. Now, prior to the patch, the speed from 2 different drifts did not stack. You only got speed from the longest drift of the 2. For example, let's say you released a drift that gets you up to 760, and then you do another drift that would get you to 770. The 770 drift would override the previous, since it charged more. With the new patch, however, that is no longer the case. Speed from 2 different drifts can now stack for a very short period of time. This allows you to reach ridiculously high speeds from drifts alone, even up to 1000 kph. This change makes the game faster overall, which means that every current world record will probably be broken soon, and it might have an impact on how the game is played. Personally, I'm not against this change. I find it interesting and it might open the doors to some new playstyles. Moving on to hidden change number 2. Matchmaking seems to be improved, meaning you probably won't have to wait as long to find a game anymore, especially in the top ranks, so that's great. Another important hidden change is that some tracks have been slightly altered. The most notable is Pleasant Pit Stop, where the horizontal floating platform in the middle section is now broken into 2 vertical platforms. I have no idea why they changed this, and it seems unnecessary, especially since these 2 platforms are too short to be used for drifting, and I expect the best routes from now on to completely ignore these platforms and either use the road at the bottom like this, or use the pads on top of these 2 houses. Olympus had a small change as well, where they added some rocks in this spot to make the cuts slightly more challenging. I think this is a good change, since before the patch you could go through the rocks here as they didn't have a hitbox, which obviously didn't seem right. And lastly, regarding maps, Sidewinder and Anarchy Arches 2 now have some extra checkpoints you need to go through. This was done to prevent people from using glitch shortcuts by going outside of the map. Of course, this is a great change as well, though hopefully in the future they will fix the actual barriers so no new shortcuts of such type can be used at all. Next up, thrusters now have a flame-like visual effect under the car, indicating when they are used, similar to the drift visual effect at the sides of the car. I like this as well, since now it's easier to tell how people use their thrusters. Another good change is that the drift bar got reverted back to its original position when driving upside down, making it easier to see the road ahead. And the last hidden change that has been discovered is that the catch-up mechanic is now slightly stronger than the previous patch. This should make it slightly easier to get back into the action should you make a mistake early on. The catch-up mechanic was heavily nerfed in the previous patch, so hopefully they now found a nice middle ground. That will do it for this video. If you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe and use creator code CheeQu in Fortnite and in the Epic Games Store to support the channel. Thanks for watching.